Welcome back to Stage 1 here at GameSpot's live coverage of E3 2013. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and joining me is Mark Cerny, the director of Knack. Mark, welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I mean, Knack, one of the first games we saw for the PlayStation 4 back in February, of course with you on stage debuting the console and telling us all that good nitty-gritty information. We're here to take a look at Knack today, and he's kind of a cute little guy.
Well, he starts out as a cute little guy, but I mean, he has the power to grow and transform. You could call that his knack, right? So while he starts out as a cute 3-foot-high tall character, during the course of a level, he may become a 30-foot-tall wrecking
giant
machine.
Yeti monster with, just
abominable knack or stealth knack or the like. It all depends on what you're picking up in the environment. That's what your abilities come from.
Yeah, and so we're going to take a look at a few gameplay clips here, folks. But Knack, just give us a quick context. I mean, we got sort of some mad science at work here, some governmental experiment. Is that sort of
sure.
the...
So, I mean, Knack is the creation of a not-so-mad scientist.
Not so mad.
Not so mad, yeah. The goblins are invading, and somehow they've gotten these very powerful weapons, and an expedition is formed to track down where those weapons are coming from and stop the goblins, and Knack is part of that expedition.
Part of the crack team.
That's the storyline of the game, yeah.
All right, now, the whole game is fueled around Knack, the little character who can take so many forms, different skills. It's a third-person action game, but it's really informed by this little guy who assembles himself out of basically geometric shapes.
Yes.
And on a basic level, all video games are assembled out of geometric shapes. One looks at Knack and maybe gets the idea that the character design was born out of decades of staring at polygons or something like that. Where did the spark for Knack come from?
It just came from the idea that wouldn't it be fun to have a game where the character could pick up parts of the environment and incorporate them into his body and grow and pick up all those abilities as a result. And after a year and a half, we ended up with the character of Knack. It's very hard. We started out just having him randomly break down walls and pick up bricks and
just debris
and
chunks.
He turned into like a big animated lump. And what you see today is a much more designed character.
He doesn't so much look like an animated lump of garbage, which is nice.
No, it's very good.
And so here we're getting a look at that mechanic, at Knack absorbing pieces of his environment and using, of course it informs his combat abilities.
To the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, by the way. If you
on
saw that
fire,
there. Yeah, on fire,
coming
coming over the edge, yeah.
Think of something that's not scary. Knack is kind of a scary little creature, even though he looks a little bit friendly, a little bit small, but his voice is not that of a tiny pipsqueak.
No. His voice is very deep when he talks. Yeah.
And speaking of voice, I was watching the trailer earlier and thought I heard another voice actor, Jennifer Hale, one of the greatest voice actors in gaming today. Is she in there?
Jennifer Hale plays 2 different characters in the game. Yeah, you heard her narrating the trailer we used at the New York event. The Doctor is played by J.B. Blanc, who's been in any number of video games, including Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Very cool.
It's been fun. There's been some incredible voice talent that's on the project.
Now, folks, we're taking questions about Knack, and I think people were wondering sort of what's the scope of Knack's adventure? You're on sort of this is on his planet. Is this Earth, or is this a fantasy planet because goblins are invading?
There's goblins. It's a fantasy planet. It's a 10-hour story-driven adventure, and a whole lot you can pick up in the game. In fact, it's randomized, so it's different each time you play the game to a small extent.
Randomized.
And there's a number of characters and abilities that you can unlock as well. So let's just say that you can play the game once, but you still won't have seen everything that the game has to offer in that context.
Cool. So you've got a little bit of replayability, and also, with a character that's got so many different forms to take, there's always that, well, maybe you head back to a different area when you're in a different form, and is there kind of that different form-fueled exploration element to Knack?
Well, there's a couple hundred different hidden rooms in the game, and 60 of those...
Seems like a large number.
And 60 of those contain these special objects. Those special objects are parts of gadgets that can help Knack in his quest, or they're what we call crystal relics, where if you can assemble enough of them, you can unlock a different playable character for your second playthrough.
Different playable character.
Well, it's still Knack.
But still Knack.
But still Knack.
Interesting. Different Knack, but still Knack. I guess that's the nature of being a fantastical being made up of small component parts you can absorb as you walk along. All right. Curious folks in the Twitch chat, Cheerful Toe wondering about the new DualShock controller for the PlayStation 4. Is there any touchpad functionality that you could talk about for Knack?
We're still looking at how to use all of that in the context of the game. I mean, for the most part, you're using the face buttons of the controller, and you're dodging with the right joystick. It's rather reminiscent. Got it.
Oh, yeah?
Spec.
Okay. I don't know if you folks are hearing some audio issues. We're on that, and also there's like this incredible pulsing wave of sound coming through the booth right now that is rattling both Mark and my bones. So bear with us if there's any hiccups. Looking at the Twitch chat and also GameSpot comments and Twitter, hashtag GameSpotE3 for questions for Mark Cerny about Knack. And Mark, you are also, of course, play a prominent role in the development of the PlayStation 4. And yesterday brought the Sony press conference, the reveal of the form factor of the actual console, which is looking really slick, and it's going to teach a whole new generation of people the word rhombus, I think. How does it feel to finally have that out there and have folks reacting to this actual concrete object?
Oh, it feels great. I don't think I'm on anymore. Let me try. Am I on now? No,
Let me take a look at this real quick. Yep, we're on. Oh, we're going to get a stick mic in here. Thanks for bearing with us here, Mark.
I mean, it feels good. I mean, my responsibility was the architecture of the hardware, which is to say everything that went into that box.
Yep.
I actually saw it for the first time along with everybody else at
really?
the reveal. They were going to show it to me, but I just wanted to wait for the rest.
You wanted to experience the spectacle?
Yes, I did.
And was it worth the wait?
I think it's very pretty.
Yeah, it's looking really nice, and of course, great public response to a lot of the games you guys showed off. Huge suite of indie games, the AAA titles. There's a real diversity of games that Sony chose to focus on. Knack just got a brief mention because it was focused on so much in the February reveal, and of course now you're showing it off here. Pretty exciting launch lineup for the PlayStation 4.
I think Knack is an example of that same diversity as well. We know that the core gamer is going to be the initial consumer at launch, but we want to make sure that there are titles as well that are for the rest of the family, sons, daughters, spouses, and the like.
Absolutely, it's for the whole crew. All right, so we're talking about Knack, and that is a game that, you say the rest of the family certainly seems like one of the more family-friendly titles of the PlayStation 4 lineup as compared to Killzone or something like that. Is there any kind of cooperative play that siblings or parents and kids can sort of get down and enjoy together?
So there are.
Put a little closer.
Put a little closer. This is good. So we're finally there. That's good. There are parts of the game that we have not brought to the show, so we will be discussing those in later months.
Excellent. Super vague. I like it. Question from the Twitch chat from Frozen Synapse. Are there ways to combo abilities with the environments? You're sort of going through Knack. You've got different abilities that are fueled by your own form as Knack, but is there stuff that you're interacting with in the world as well that sort of compounds your abilities?
So, the abilities are really linked to the particular environment that you're in. So if you've got transparent parts, that's pretty much because that's the environment where we're going to try yet a third.
That one. I'm not Ryan. That one's not working.
Steve. We are set.
Here, this one's on the bottom. Thanks for bearing with us, folks. This is, of course, the magic of live game demoing and interviewing. I think we are, for various forms of voice amplification going through. We're getting those issues resolved real quick. Let's put up some Knack gameplay, give the people something pretty to look at, perhaps.
I'm told that this microphone works.
I can hear you, Ryan McDonald.
Wow. Are we on? We could be on. It's now, as soon as it gets over here. Is it the headset?
No, I think you're good. I don't know.
I'm on?
It doesn't sound... I don't know.
So
keep talking, and if they can't hear us, we'll figure it out.
So it's really linked to the environment. So when you're infiltrating the hideout of the evil genius in the game. You need to get past the security beam, so just coincidentally, there happen to be transparent parts of the environment that you can use. And it isn't to say that we couldn't take that a bit further, but right now we're really focusing on, I guess, that joy of play that I remember so well from the early PlayStation days, and just getting in there and digging in, and playing that. That action platform.
Just having that pure fun, that fun of smashing some stuff, making your big guy, and getting through different environmental obstacles. Knack has a real that cartoony aesthetic. Just puts a smile on my face. And thank you so much for coming by today to talk about it, Mark. Knack, is that a launch title for the PlayStation 4?
It is a launch title for PlayStation 4.
All right, Mark Cerny, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and thanks for bearing with us during little technical hiccups and whatnot. The magic of live presenting here at E3 2013. Folks, we're going to take away from the live stage for just a moment, but we'll be back with Watch Dogs.